Who drank my goddamn apple juice? Who drank my goddamn
coffee?
Hey, you're now listening to Coffee and Apple Juice, a podcast.
I usually listen to it when I'm on my way to work.
Real, raw, and uncut conversations with Aisha Hadiya.
All right, what's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Apple Juice, the podcast. Y'all already know who I am. I am your host, Aisha Hadiya. Y'all already know who this is. This is Reggie, my podcast brother. Reggie, I haven't seen you in a minute. We're gonna catch up. And down below, we have Sean. Sean, do you go by anything else?
Keep it G blog.
Okay. So Sean, you're new to my platform. So let me go ahead and give you this floor to kind of introduce yourself, talk about your podcast, your blogging, anything that you got going on that you want the people to know about. Go ahead and take the floor and do that now.
Yeah, I'm Keep It G blogger. I'm the owner of Keep It G podcast. You know, I basically speak on everything, man, from rap to politics, man. My slogan is I'm bringing real back. I'm making it look cool again. Yeah, man.
Okay. So in the description, I'm definitely going to have your links so everybody can kind of check you out, check out your podcast, your blog, things of that nature. Also to follow you on social media, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Reggie, go ahead and tell the people for the millionth time.
What's up, everybody? I need no introduction, I guess, but it's Reggie, the Prime Minister, one half of Every Talking Sports, one half of Unapologetic, the podcast. Aries Talking Sports is exactly what it is, two Aries, and we're talking sports. Unapologetic, the podcast. Me and my guy Dre, we talk about basically everything, like my man said, from politics to sports to music to culture to just, you know, lifestyle. You can find us on all DSPs, social media. We'll do that at the end, whatever. But it's me.
Okay. So Roe versus Wade was overturned. Y'all in support of that? Y'all disagree with it? How y'all feel about it?
I think you know, I see like that. All right, look, right. I'm gonna say it like this: when you deal with Roe versus Wade, right, you got to take it back to the beginning. You feel me? Because if you start at the middle, and I give the way I feel about it, people gonna be confused. But if you start at the beginning of what abortions is all about, it was called eugenics. You see what I'm saying? It was a way to keep our population down. So it really started off racism. So in that aspect, like once I found that out, and then I looked at the numbers and I seen things like 400 million black babies been aborted since 1973, I think, when it started. It's like, yo, I can't be for that. I can't be for it. But but let me say this though. But I think this decision had nothing to do with us. I think finally America chose them over us. You feel me? Because like I said, this was a way to keep our numbers down, and it has been working. But it's been keeping their numbers down as well, and they're not producing at the same rate that we're producing. So that's what I mean by they chose them over us.
Yep. I read an article.
Interracial babies.
Oh, go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said, and interracial babies play a part in it too.
Yeah, that's
everything.
I seen a video on Instagram. I don't know how much truth it is, but the young lady stated that more. I looked at the statistics as well, and more white women outnumber us in getting abortions over black women. They get more abortions than we do, and the young lady in the video said that the white population won't even exist in 300 years because they're not producing at a rate that they should be. So it's like in 300 years, she was saying that they're estimated to not even be a white race because they keep aborting their children.
They saying by the year 2045.
Oh, well, that's not even 300 years. That's what?
Yeah.
2045.
No, they still gonna be here, but they're not gonna be the majority. They're gonna be the minority compared to blacks and Hispanics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like when it comes to a woman's body, men need to quit making decisions when it comes to our bodies. But I didn't know that bit of information that you just gave us as far as the history of abortion. So I'm definitely gonna have to do my research on that.
Let's be specific. When you say men need to stop making decisions on women's bodies, what do you mean? Do you
As
mean
far as
mankind or just men in general?
I just feel like men in general, I feel like
You know, it was women that voted, right?
yeah, but it was more men in the Senate than women, or it was more men it's more men than women. And I mean, don't get me
Only three
wrong,
more.
it
I'm
was
sorry
only
to
three.
cut you off. It was only three. It was only three more men.
Even
That
still,
that
I feel like that wasn't a decision for nobody in the government to make, period.
right.
I don't feel like that was, I feel like when it comes to church and state, they need to keep it separated. Now, y'all making this decision based on your religion, but that decision based on your religion is affecting people that don't even follow your religion.
Hey, but not to
Mhm.
even get off topic, right? It was see that's what I'm saying, y'all. As Black people, we gotta start paying attention to these cases that's in the Supreme Court. So it was this is gonna be real quick. It was a coach that I think at halftime or at the end of the game, he decided to pray with his team. And all the family, like a lot of people was outraged by that. You know, because you're supposed to separate, the school and religion and all that type of shit. So he just won in the Supreme Court. The judge ruled in his favor that it's nothing wrong with what he did, being as though it was at a school. So that's that church and state thing.
That's gonna be over and done with too soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to get y'all opinions on it. I think I'm gonna be asking a lot of the guys that come on my platform how they feel about that certain situation. Or I mean that that particular case, because it's very rare that we hear men's opinions on things as far as abortion. It's a lot of women out here, they get pregnant and they make the decision to have the abortion without the man's, whether he wants, we do it whether he want to keep it or not. If we don't want the baby, it's ultimately our decision. So I just be curious to know how y'all feel about certain things like that, or if that's even something men pay attention to. But I brought y'all on my platform today because I want to talk about a video that I came across on social media. I'm gonna insert the clip here, and then we're gonna go ahead and discuss.
Most men don't want a independent, strong woman. That is a fact. I'm almost willing to say all.
Nah, that's it.
I ain't gonna say that.
Go ahead.
Nobody want that shit. Nobody wants that shit. Because the word independent means I don't need you. And that's exactly what we was talking about. Yes, look it up. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I want an independent, strong woman.
Let me get
I need it.
We don't need, that is a defense mechanism. It is out of habit. It is out of, I have to do this. Independent, strong women do not want to do that. They want to rest. They want to be
break down that an independent woman is actually just a functioning human adult.
No, she's
that is the
not.
dumbest I've ever heard.
Person.
In the rent, you got your own car and your own apartment? Yes, I'm 28. Okay. I don't need you to get up. Okay, me, I'm about to blow my top on this.
Discuss it, but in a nutshell, the video basically states that men don't desire independent women. And I wanted y'all's opinion on that. I really want the guys' opinion who don't desire independent women, because I feel like that'll make the content a little bit more better. Because I know you guys probably don't care how much money a woman makes, and if she do make her own money, that's more beneficial than it is anything. But we're gonna go ahead and go with it as far as how y'all feel about it. So in the clip, the man stated that independent women aren't necessarily desirable, and men aren't going after independent women anymore. He's saying that independent is basically a woman who doesn't need a man for anything. And he's saying that that's why men aren't going after independent women, because they don't need men for anything. So I just want to know how y'all feel about that, as far as that comment being made with men not wanting to be with independent women or successful women for that matter. You can go first, Sean.
I think see, I don't really know. Like I'm with an independent woman. We've been together for 13 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And the reason why I decided to do this topic with you is because we've had problems. Like I noticed, all right, I didn't think it was a problem at first, right? But as time goes along and was going along, I started noticing that phrase comes with a mindset. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when you're dealing with independent women, they create like a barrier. Because it's like, no matter what you do, they got this thing in their mind where is, I don't need you. So I think it make them to where as though, since I don't need you, I'm going to show you that. So it's like a tug of war. It's like a back and forth, as opposed to just letting things go the way it go. It's like I got to continuously remind you that I don't need you. And it might not be done in words. It might be done in actions.
Okay. Did you say that you experienced this personally, like within your own relationship?
Yeah, because my bad, let me try this water. Yeah, because like I just was thinking like, yo, why? Because it'd be things like I do everything, take care of my kids, all that. You feel me? Pay bill, everything I'm supposed to do. But I still would get you don't do this, you don't do that. And I'm like, yo, where the fuck is this shit coming from? You feel me? Then I start thinking back into this independent mind frame thing. And I realized like, yo, this only applies to our women. Where did it come from? You feel me? And then when you start looking back at that, you start realizing that this term came along around the same time that they was kicking them out of the household. You feel me? Like it all run conjunction with it was an agenda. And at the end of the day, no one is truly independent. You depend on your job for money. You depend on something for something. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So this independent thing, I think it's harmful actually to our community. And I think it's a major reason in why the Black families are separating.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. I used to, before I really kind of, I want to use the term woke up, but then I don't really want to use the term woke up. But before I really came into the woman that I am, I used to consider myself independent. But it's like the more I grow, I hate the term independent. I hate coming out of my mouth saying that I don't need a man for anything. Boy, I do need you. I need you. But not for, it's not that I don't need you for the things that I can do for myself, but I do need a man. But it's like, I don't need a man for what people, for what you would naturally think I need a man for. I don't need a man financially. I can manage my own bills, but if you're gonna come in here and help me, I'm gonna appreciate that help. Like I feel like a lot of women who are independent, quote unquote, like you said, it comes with a mindset. It's almost like because I'm making my own money, I'm in charge, sort of thing, But yeah, we're gonna get more into that. But Reggie, how you feel about the comments that the man made, the young man made, as far as men not wanting independent women?
I think it's a false statement. Maybe it might just be my circle. I don't know. I don't know too many men that want a woman that's dependent on them for everything. Me myself, I don't want. I'd rather have a woman that wants me instead of need me. I feel like that's a little more genuine. As far as in me and the career I did have when I was in the military, I would prefer an independent woman, because if I just happen to deploy or go overseas for a year or do whatever else, I would rather have a woman. And I've been with a woman that I guess wasn't as independent as I thought she was, and she couldn't really hold down the household while I was going far as and make sure the bills was paid, make sure maintenance was done on the vehicles, make sure maintenance was done on the house, and all types of things. So I think it's a plus to have a woman that is independent and can actually hold down a particular role when you are not present. Because I think, as far as in relationships, I think that's the ultimate goal for me that I want. Because I don't think no one's going to be the lead. Or there are going to be times where a woman is going to need to take lead and do things. I think a queen is just as capable as a king. So I think you should have that relationship to where you're both interchangeable.
Okay. Okay. I'm really upset that baby girl couldn't hold down the bills. Like, I feel like that's supposed to come natural. But
well, yeah, I mean, we were both young. We were both young. I don't even think either one of us was 21 yet, you know. So I mean, it's still learning and growing at the same time, but you know, yeah.
So when it comes to when it comes to like a woman being, I don't want to use the term independent. I really hate that term.
You know, white women never use that word, really. I don't hear white women use that word.
It's not even, I don't even think it's more of a race thing. I don't hear no other race of women use that term. And I feel like the only reason why we kind of blow it out of proportion is because it's been put in our music.
It's
been put in the shit that we enjoy. You know, yes, we were forced into this particular lifestyle because the men were taken out of the homes. So they put the drugs in the street and lock our men up. Then they give us these housing at cheap, some shit we can afford to raise our kids in. Yeah. But hey, in order for you to live here, that man can't be here no more. So we was forced into a lifestyle of having to work and support ourselves and take care of our children.
Yeah, it was a choice.
It was a choice, but you know, in some instances, we didn't have that support coming from nowhere else. So we really did have to kind of get out there and get it on our own to a certain extent.
It was like a fucked up choice. Like, it's like you could choose this or this, but they both really not good options.
Either way, we suffered either way, you know. Yeah. So, and then it's like, all right, I'm paying my own bills. I got my own car. I'm taking care of my own kids. Then here come this summer anthem. INDEPEND, and we love Webby and Boosie at the time, so it's like, what, y'all gave the ladies something about too? Like, that's our shit. Then you put Trina on the remix, so now we really think we hot shit out here because this song was embedded in our heads. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
forget about Destiny Child, bills.
Oh, of course. So it's like you got all this different music that we listen to on a regular basis, and it's being embedded into our spirits. So now we really walking around. It's almost like now I know I don't need you. Like, I pay my own bills. I do this and I do that. But then what happens is like that mentality been stuck with us. It's stuck with us. So even when we do decide to get into relationships and we get with these men, I run this shit here. I pay the bills here. It's my table. You sitting down eating at it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if he was making that statement based on a woman's mindset and how she feel like she has to be in control of everything because she has all these different things going for her, that's one thing. But to say that you don't want to be with a woman who's just known for providing for herself, that's a totally different conversation.
Yeah. I think that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Yeah.
But I can say it is difficult because, like what you were just saying, it's basically like a tug of war. You feel me? It's like I'm saying this, you saying this, then it's just a standoff. It's a Mexican standoff. You feel me? And it's like, because at the end of the day, we need each other. And then one thing I noticed that men don't have a problem with saying they need their woman. You feel me? Like, we don't have a problem saying that. That's what led me to believe that it was an agenda. It's bigger, because if it wasn't an agenda and if it wasn't bigger than just the general topic, why do so many women think this way?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that mentality is holding a lot of women back from being in successful relationships?
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's a wall. I think they put this wall up and you ain't gonna cross it. You feel me? No matter how. And you know, it's not just that, you know, it's been a lot of dudes that did fucked up things to females. You feel me? But I think that create that wall, and it's like you're not getting past this wall because it's like I'm letting my guard down. And a lot of times, especially nowadays, our women, they don't want to feel vulnerable. because they've been hurt. And that's our fault. You feel me?
Reggie?
I do. I think it's holding back both sides, men and women, but particularly more women, because I mean it's and it's almost becoming like it's a generational thing now, because it's being passed down from a grandmother that then was single, and then her daughter ended up being single, and now her daughter's single, and it's like they're preaching like, well, girl, I did this all by myself. I didn't need a man in the house. You don't need a man in the house, or whatever else. So it's something that's being passed down versus, no, you don't need a man in the house, but to complete, to complete yourself, like you probably should have a man. Just like a woman completes a man completes a woman. Mm-hmm. No, you don't need this man in the house, but you should want to have a man in the house. You shouldn't walk around, with the attitude of, well, fuck it, I'm good without. Yes, you are, but I mean, I think you can speak certain words bring power too. And if you carry yourself that way, like you don't need a man, you're probably going to end up being that way. And then it goes back to the whole, you're gonna manifest it. Then it goes back to the whole, okay, playing a specific role, so I'm an alpha. And guess what an alpha does? An alpha attracts beta. So if you are calling yourself an alpha woman, or you got masculine energy, you're gonna attract the opposite. Masculine energy don't attract masculine energy, not unless it's some funny shit going on. But that's for another topip. But y'all understand what I'm saying. Y'all understand what I'm saying. So if you're walking around talking about you're displaying, or you're displaying your masculine energy, you're not going to attract you're going to attract the opposite. Yeah. So then you run into it where I'm attracting these type of men that blah 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 blah. This is the type of man. Well, you might want to, play the role that I guess is most suitable for you, which might be, okay, live and dwell in your femininity.
I don't know how to be beta.
You can still be feminine and be independent.
Yeah.
But
I don't understand why women think that being independent means they're displaying masculine energy.
So, at one point I considered myself like the ultimate independent alpha female. Like I ain't never needed a man for nothing, right? But I'm also realizing that I can get more flies with honey than I can with shit, right? So it's like I'm at a point in my life where I'm trying to transition from this independent woman to this more feminine woman. But hearing you say that opposites attract, like I attract a lot of beta men, and I don't like that. And I feel like that's why a lot of my relationships haven't been successful, because I don't care to be with beta men. I'm more.
What kind of energy are you giving out?
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm getting to. It's like do I need to start acting more beta, like a more beta woman, or do I just need to be more feminine? Because like I'm not that damsel in distress type of woman. Like it's kind of hard for me to really grasp that concept. If I call you and I ask you for money because I need an oil change and I ain't got it right now, and you tell me no, bro, I'm finna get out here and I'm finna get the money to get an oil change, or for whatever it may be. Like I'm not the damsel in distress type. I never grasped that concept. I don't know how to be that woman. I don't know how to sit around and wait on somebody to do something for me, so I go out and I get it myself. But because I don't
necessarily think that's not being feminine, though. I think you can be feminine. Like I said, you can be feminine and still be independent. You can be feminine and still make moves and do all these other things. That don't necessarily mean like, okay, I'm feminine, I need to wait on someone to do this for me or do that, or I need to hit somebody up and ask them for this.
I'm gonna tell you what changes it. Now, if you voice to him that I'm gonna go get it myself, it's a difference than if you just be like, okay, all right, and then you just figure it out yourself. A lot of times when we dealing with independent women, they're gonna voice that to you. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And it comes off as like, God damn. You feel me? As opposed to just be like, oh, all right, well, well, thank you or whatever. You feel me? Then just, do what you gotta do to make sure it happens.
Okay. Well, y'all, Sean, you new here, but Reggie, it's a work in progress for me. I am trying to be more feminine. I'm trying to tap in more to my feminine energy, because I feel like being feminine is more than just putting on cute clothes and being cute in a picture and, being sexy. It's more to it than that. Y'all see these little fairy lights. I'm trying to create a more feminine atmosphere around myself. I try my hardest to be mindful of the way I talk. I have a very harsh vocabulary, because like I say all the time, I'm a real nigga up under these braids, up under these wigs, up under these nails. Like I'm real raw and uncut. But it's like I no longer want to describe myself that way. I no longer want to describe myself that way. So it's like I've been working on, just trying to be a little bit more feminine. Because like I said, I feel like being masculine, being independent. I'm tired of doing this shit by myself. I'm tired of paying bills.
If I can give if I can give you some advice, I would just say let your guard down.
And you know what? That's probably one of the things I can't do. It's like I've been hurt so much. I've been blindsided so much. Like I refuse to let somebody come in and disrupt my peace like that again. So it's like maybe I need to figure out a different way of letting my guard down, maybe. But it's like I refuse to let somebody come in and disrupt my peace like that ever again. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably one of my biggest
you gotta be vulnerable, man. Like and like I know, like from what you just saying, I know that's a hard thing to do, because it's some messed up dudes out here, and you got some people that'll take advantage of that shit, like cold-heartedly. You feel me? So you just gotta pick wisely. And when you found like when you think this is the person, and you really believe this is the person, you gotta just be vulnerable and let your guard down. Because I think that women, because that's a lot of women are not happy. You feel me? And a lot of times they think it's men the reason why they're not happy. It's like you can't find happiness in a man. But I think, and this is my opinion, I'm a man, I really don't know. But I think once women let their guard down and be vulnerable to the right person, they'd be a whole lot happier.
You know what? I'm myself at all times, right? But I feel like I'm more attracted to men who see the bad side of me versus men who don't get to see that side of me at all. So like at work, I'm a fucking animal. I'm not this girly girl at work. I come off like a wolf, a tiger, a lion. Like my job just, and what I have to do in some of the situations that I be in at work really bring a bad side out of me. I ain't gonna necessarily say bad side, but it brings out a side that I don't too much display on a regular basis. But it's like I'm more attracted to a man who already see that side of me versus a man who may not never see that side of me. Like I don't want it to be a surprise to y'all if y'all just see me spaz out on somebody. I don't want that to be a surprise. I don't want that to be a turnoff. I'd rather you already see that side of me, right? So it's like people be questioning like why I talk to somebody at my job, or why would you even interact with somebody on your job on that type of level. It's because they already seen that side of me. You see what I'm saying? Like I feel like it'll be a turnoff if a dude see me cussing somebody out. Like he ain't gonna want to holler at no girl who talk like that. Like she too aggressive. But it's like this dude show interest in me, and he already seen how aggressive I can get to a certain extent. So I'm working on my feminine ways. Just bear with me. I should be together by next year. By next year, I should be together.
The work thing is a gift and a curse too, because that can just be okay. I'm fucking with them or whatever else because of familiarity. I saw this one study. It said that you're more prone to get in a work relationship than any other type of relationship, because when you spend enough time around certain individuals, like that's going to promote it. So that don't necessarily mean it's more genuine. It's just okay, but also I mean, you said you yourself all the time, but I mean, you can still like show this person outside of that. That's not even, that don't even work with you. All sides of you. Of course, it's gonna, it's a work in progress because they're not gonna see all those different sides at once, or even within the first week or 2 weeks. But I mean, that's where communication comes in too, because you can like, hey, look, I am aggressive at times. I do have XYZ, blah, 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 but I'm looking for someone that can also be comfortable with, my aggressiveness, or tame it a little bit.
Reggie, if a woman was to tell you that, how would you respond? Reggie, I have an aggressive side. I have a side where I can just spaz out. Not at random.
With her telling me that. No, I would be comfortable with her. I would be comfortable with her telling me that, but I would have to see it as well, because I mean, you can have a man that say the same thing. Hey, look. At times I have an attitude. I have a temper, and you can be like, okay, that's fine. And then when you see it, and his attitude or temper comes with, okay, this nigga might want to square up with you or some shit. You're like, okay, I can't fuck with that. And it might be the same thing with a woman. Like, okay, I'm cool with it until you actually see it.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's only certain situations that bring that side out of me. I try my hardest not to display that girl, because I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be known as the girl with the attitude. I don't want to be known as the aggressive girl. I no longer want to be the unapproachable girl. So that is something I'm working on. But back to being independent. Because I'm tired of being that girl too. Like, don't get me wrong. Fellas, I don't need no man to come in here and pay my bills, but I'm not gonna I feel like a lot of women constantly remind men of that, and that's why they get that. That's why men say we don't want independent women, because they're constantly being reminded that they're independent. I'm not going to remind you that I don't need you to pay my bills. I'm not going to remind you of that. And I feel like that's where a lot of women go wrong, because they constantly remind a man of what they don't need him to do.
Exactly. And then you got to factor in this too, man. And this is another thing that's confusing. Like, we raising our boys to take care of their family, and we raising our girls to be independent.
Yeah.
so it's like, it's starting at the root. You feel me? It's backwards as hell. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like, as a mother of girls and boys, it's extremely hard, because it's like my daughters are witnessing me maintain a household by myself. But then it's like with my sons, I'm teaching him to look after his sisters, look after your younger brothers. Before you go to bed, you need to make sure your doors on your house is locked. When they come down to get the trash to the street, that's your responsibility. You need to make sure that. So it's like, I definitely get it. It's almost like we've been set up to be in competition with one another as Black men and Black women. We've been set up to be in competition. It's so much back and forth with Black men and Black women. And I be trying to figure this shit out, because it's like, I just go on social media and I see Black men dogging Black women out every single day. I see Black women dogging Black men out every single day. And I be trying to figure out what the fuck happened with us. Like, what's the beef? Like, do we just need to all go out and square up and then just be done with it? Can we shake hands and make up? Can we?
It's bad, man.
It's horrible. And it's like, it's to the point where we as a people, like, it's to a point where women they're okay with being single and being independent. They're okay with no desire to be in a relationship. Our marriage rates is dropping because we no longer desire marriage ain't the goal no more. Getting degrees and making money and maintaining our household, or maintaining our lifestyle, like, that's the goal. Quote unquote, being independent is the goal now with a lot of women. When the relationships don't work out, we just desire on focusing on us.
See, but this is when the game is going to change as women start to get older, and they get to a point where it's like, damn, I'm 60, almost 70 years old. Single. You're going to need that man to, because a lot of times, like with my grandparents, for example, my grandfather is 75, my grandmother's 80. She couldn't survive without him right now. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because like just getting around and bringing bags in the house, you see what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy, man, because Kevin Samuels used to talk about a lot of this. And he talked about how, like, you know, a lot of women are shacking up. You feel me? Like up in age. And I actually see this with like some family members that I had. Like, yo, it's a house full of women, not one man. And we talking about different generations from 60s to the 40s to the 30s. Like, yo, that shit is wild to me. We're all with kids though.
Yeah. I don't know who I was just having this conversation with, but they were telling me how they have two friends. Both of them have multiple children. Two lady friends. They both have multiple children, and they decided to get a house together. They're raising their children together. They're like best friends, but they're raising their children together. You know, they both pay the bills, but there is no man involved. It's just two mothers, and they raising their children together. So it's like, I hear a lot about that whole shacking up movement, where a lot of women are just tag teaming and doing it with each other rather than, you know, trying to do it with the spouse, with the man, with the husband, with the boyfriend, or whatever you want to call it. I hear a lot of that. That's considered common now, to go and buy a house with your best friend and raise y'all children together, or not even necessarily buy a house, but just to create a household, and y'all just help each other raise each other kids. I hear about that a lot.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about the money. You feel me? The government have figured out a way, and they realize that if I can get him away from her, I can kind of control what goes on. But if this man is here, especially the alpha male, if he is here, he's gonna be in the way of shit. Because like, it was a situation like this real fast. My son got a speech problem, you know, stuttering shit. And the school had called, and basically my girl put my son in a speech program, but ain't asked a whole lot of questions. So when I'm asking about the shit, oh, he needed, yeah, he probably do need it, but what else come along with this? Well, I signed him up. What? You signed him up? I called the school, make a long story short, I get to talk about it. They saying they basically, so they're gonna be taking him out the class, and you feel me? Now he gotta get an IEP. I'm like, oh, IEP. You know what IEPs is?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he getting good grades, right? Oh yeah, well, he's doing fine in class, but we don't need it. You feel me? Because now you're trying to put my son in a slower class. So it's like you're trying to slow him down. And then you get to talking about what she say? I just want to make sure it wasn't nothing emotional. Well, now you're talking about medication. You feel me? And look, and that's what these systems do to single mothers. You feel me? They know how to manipulate them, because at the end of the day, they know the mind is broken. They're not going to ask but so many questions. The average mother, now I'm not saying everybody, but the average mother is not going to ask but so many questions, because in her mind, the school has the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
Right.
You feel me? But in reality, men, we like being in control. So we're going to control all aspects of shit. You feel me? So we're going to ask them questions. It's all a money play. It's all about money, man. If they can get the man out of the house, they control the female. I mean, they can manipulate the family for generations. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like it's deep.
Oh,
and I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Me listening to you talk, you actually pointing out things that I, as a woman, would have never realized or never thought about. So yeah, it is deep. Reggie, how you feel over there?
I mean, very. I mean, I don't have nothing to add on to it. I agree with it 100%.
Okay. So let me ask y'all this. Do y'all feel like the men who don't desire women who are considered independent, or who make their own money, or who are considered successful, do y'all feel as though those are beta men who desire a woman who's more dependent of them, rather than a woman who can kind of get out here and make moves on her own?
No, I wouldn't call them beta. How you feel, Reg? I've been talking like a motherfucker.
No, so I think there's a couple different scenarios. You can have a man that has been with a woman that has that was kept using that independent term on him. And now he's to the point to where, you know what, I'd rather have a woman that is not always throwing it in my face. Or you might have a man that is controlling and he rather be with the woman that actually needs him, and it makes him feel a little more than what he is, versus, because there's I guess you're stronger, or if you want to use the beta male, the alpha male term, he's not going to be intimidated by a woman that makes as much as him or more than him. He's still going to feel like, when we walk in these doors, I'm still the king of this castle, whatever else. But there are some men that may not feel that way, that, he needs to be number one in all aspects.
I think beta males are the males that chase white women. You feel me? Like
they do what?
They want white women. You feel me?
White women. Okay.
Yeah, I think with the scenario you just mentioned, I think those guys, they just don't want to fight, man. Like, because it's going to be a constant struggle. It's a power struggle, and I think they just tired of the fight.
Power struggle.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a power struggle. That I feel like that's the headline. That's what it is. All across the board, it's a power struggle. Women have been put in these positions to where they have the power now, quote unquote. And I'm using air quotations because we've been putting up when they remove the man, which is the main power, when they removed him from the household, they gave women the power to a certain extent. And now that we trying to, as women, we want to add men back into the equation, but it's like, okay, well, who does what? That's where the argument comes in of who pays the bills, who do this, who do that. That's where that whole argument comes. It's a power struggle with black men and black women. That's really what it comes down to, a power struggle. It's like, I've been in control all this time, but now I desire to have a man in my life. But it's like, it's hard for me to relinquish the power that I once had to the man. And then it's like with him, like you said, a lot of men don't want to fight. So I'd rather just go where the power is automatically given to me versus me having to fight you every day for it. And I feel like that's exactly what it is. If you ask me, that's the problem right there. It's a power struggle.
And so with that, I also say a woman can't walk around, I'm independent, but I would rather, or I want a man too. And then once that man comes in the picture, he has to fight or struggle for that role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you will have a lot of women that do that and say that. Like, it's hard for me to, but.
So something that I've noticed, so when you made me aware that as an alpha woman, I have people that call me that said I'm considered an alpha woman. I never really, that's not a term I really use when I describe myself, but for the sake of this episode, I'm going to use this term. As an alpha woman, I attract a lot of beta men, but I've noticed when I do get to the point where I can let my guard down, be a little bit more vulnerable, be able to communicate on an emotional level, I actually noticed that I like to make beta men feel like alphas a little bit. Like, so for example, in a relationship with my kid's father, this was years ago, I noticed that I would have the rent money because I was paying the bills, but I would give him the rent money or babe, go get the money order so you can pay the rent. See what I'm saying? Just little things to make him feel like he was doing something even when he was down bad or when he was fucking up, whatever. It was little stuff like that. So I don't know if I was crippling him or not. Like, I don't know. I think maybe I should be with a beta man. Because I kind of sort of do, because technically I do like the control of, I'm still in control, but I'm making you think you in control a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's like I could put a mask on and be submissive at times.
Even though so using those terms, I guarantee you none of those men that you were with that you consider beta, I guarantee you none of them consider themselves to be beta.
Yeah, but they was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A beta man is an alpha in a room that might betas.
So that might be a struggle or a thing within itself. If you was to say, okay, I'm just going to be with a beta man, and he was to find out or understood, okay, this is how she views me as a beta male or whatever term you want to use.
I don't like the term alpha and beta because we don't know.
Me neither.
We don't have clear definitions of alpha and beta. Like, Sean, no disrespect to you, but this just for example, you may consider yourself an alpha. I may consider you a beta. Reggie, you may consider yourself a beta. I may consider you an alpha. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's a whole different conversation because we don't know what's what. We don't know what character.
And everyone has their own.
What's what. You see what I'm saying? So I want to take beta away and I want to use submissive and dominant. Now I've always told you I want two boyfriends, one dominant, one submissive, to cater to both of my sides. So we're gonna use dominant and submissive, right? So I feel like as a more dominant woman, I attract men who come off to me as submissives, but when I'm in a submissive role, I make them feel as though they're the dominant one to a certain extent. I think that sounds a little better, and that may make a little bit more sense to a certain extent.
I think, man. I mean, every man want to feel like needed. That. You feel me? Yeah, needed and wanted. And we got a thing in our community where the women want to feel that way too, but they forget that we like to feel needed and wanted as well. You feel me?
And I think it's to a certain extent, like, I don't feel like women want to be needed and wanted to pay the bills. We don't want to feel needed and wanted that way. Mm-hmm. I want a man to need me for his peace. I want to be the Black Widow to the Incredible Hulk. I want to be the one that bring you down back to Dr. Banner from the Incredible Hulk. Mm-hmm. That's what I need from my man. I need the reassurance that regardless of what you deal with out there, you know that home is where it's at. Home is where you just gonna have, you can't find what you get here nowhere else. That's what I need to feel from my man. So, and I'm not just speaking from any females. I like to just speak for myself. But then it's like, from a man's point of view, because it's like, and I could be fishing here, guys, so y'all can definitely check me if I'm wrong. I feel like one of the ultimate struggles that a lot of men have is not being able to do what they feel like their DNA has structured them to do. It's in y'all DNA to provide, protect, make sure to take care of the household and the kids, and, just make sure everything's straight as far as household. Now, like I said, check me if I'm wrong, because a lot of this shit I get from brothers, cousins, baby daddies, this shit that I hear from them. But y'all have the floor to check me if I'm wrong.
I think it's an upbringing too, because you have a lot of boys that are now men that were raised by single mothers, and maybe they just were raised, I guess, to not raised to be more submissive, but raised, I guess,
from a more feminine being,
from a more feminine standpoint. These little boys grew up in nail salons. They grew up in hair salons. They grew up, not really around masculine energy. Or their mother was very aggressive and, cursed them out a lot. Talked to them certain kind of ways when they messed up or whatever else. And they're a little more, now that woman figure is like intimidating to them. They're scary, So I think that plays a lot into it as well. Not saying because I was raised by, my father was not in a picture. I was raised by a single woman, but my mom.
But you came out just fine.
But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. My mom did both. She she was a nurturer, and at times, you know, she did other things. My mom took me outside and played football, played basketball. I walk around the house and she was still on me. You know what I'm saying? We play fight. We did all that shit. So I mean, but I did have at times I did have other males around me. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm not gonna say so much more of DNA, because these days that whole DNA thing become tricky, because you got boys saying that they knew they were gay or feminine from 2 years old. I mean, you go figure, but whatever. So I think more of the upbringing is plays a factor in that too as well.
So I'm not gonna even finish what I was gonna say before you stated that, because I'm gonna let y'all answer the question. So I was going to say what I feel like men needed from women, right? But I want y'all to answer that. So Sean, I'm gonna start with you, and then we're gonna go to Reggie. When it comes to feeling needed from a woman, what do you need from a woman? How do you need to feel needed?
Man, it's really simple. Like, you know, man, we not really that hard to figure out, man. Like, for the most part, we just don't want to fight. Like, for real, like, you know, respect equals love to men. You feel me? And a lot of times we got a big disrespect problem in our community between the man and the woman. So it's like it's a lot of times it's hard for a man to believe that this woman truly loves him when you're steady being disrespected.
Yeah.
You feel me? And we just want peace. We don't want to argue. We don't want to fight. We want to figure things out as a team. You feel me? Like, and that's really all it is. We want to be able to have a conversation, a serious conversation that don't lead to arguments. You know, one where we both can learn and hear each other out, and then come to a determination of what's the right way to go about doing this. Not one where, and this where the independent thing come, where you got your way of thinking and doing things. I got my way of doing things. Now somebody's just gonna have to break. You feel me? And a lot of times the man is gonna break because, you know, we don't take arguments as far as y'all do. You know, we'll have a little beef for a day and a couple of hours. We ain't even on that shit no more. Females are holding on that shit, and I think y'all use it to y'all advantage. Y'all hold on to that shit for weeks. You feel me? So it gets to a point like, man, fuck it, man. It is what it is. You feel me? But we just don't want to argue, man. We want to be able to, you know, teamwork make the dream work.
Okay. Reggie, what do you need as a man? What do you need from your partner or from your spouse or for whatever young lady that may come into your life? What do you need from her to feel like, if you have the desire to feel needed, what exactly is that to you? What do you need to feel needed?
I think it's simple for me as well. Just I want a woman that looks at me as something that I guess completes what she isn't. And for me, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Someone that, like I said, that
it's a puzzle piece.
That wants me and not needs me. You know, wherever she's weak, I'm strong, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? We complete each other. It's like, and I think that's the ultimate team concept.
That's major. You're right though, because a lot of times women, they want you to be strong where they strong at. It's like, yo, right, you be strong on that end, and I can handle this end, and this is how we're gonna make it work. Right. Like we both can't do the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, you know, there are going to be areas where you're weak in or she's weak in. Somebody's going to have to take control. You can't always have the same person in control all the time, because that's how shit starts to get fucked up. Yeah. Because you could have been the better person for this job, but you know, now it's all fucked up because guess what? Somebody wasn't man or woman enough. They didn't want to sit their pride to the side and be like, you know what?
They didn't want to let them gender roles. They didn't want to put them gender roles to the side. You know, I say this on any episode where we're having this type of conversation or when it ever leads to this specific topic. You know, I always say at the end of the day, as long as the goal get completed, who cares who pays what bill? Who cares who do the dishes and who wash the clothes and who tend to the kids and who do this and who do that? The goal is the goal. And as long as we achieve the goal, it don't matter who do what. You know, I desire a relationship where gender roles is not an issue or doesn't become an issue. Because I feel like that's where, like I said, that's that fight, that's that competition, that battle amongst each other, that power struggle. That's where that comes in, is that because the woman is used to paying the bills and doing this and doing that, but the man we feel like the man's supposed to do it, or the man, he feels more manly when he does it, you know. So it's like that's where that power struggle comes in at, because at the end of the day, the goal is just to get the bills paid, to keep from falling behind. Who gives a fuck who pays the mortgage? Who gives a fuck who pays the car payment, the insurance, whatever? The goal is just to get it paid. You know, so at the end of the day, I feel like whether she independent or not, that I don't think that's really the issue. It's more so how the mentality that comes with that independency, how she treats her man with that independency. Are you treating him less of a man because you make more than he do, or because the house was in your name because he moved in with you? Are you treating him like the king that he should be treated, regardless of what he brought to the table? You know, so I feel like that's more so the issue that a lot of men have when it comes to getting with women who are a little bit more successful, or who desire success rather than just being dependent on somebody. I really feel like that's where the issue lies, that whole power struggle, and you know, how she gonna treat me even though she got a degree and I don't, or how she gonna treat me because she got her own business and she's successful and she's this and she's that. I feel like that's really where the issue comes in, and why a lot of men don't desire to be with women who are successful, because not all, but a lot of women don't really know how to handle a black man when it comes to that success. You know, just because you make a little bit more money than him, that don't mean you can walk over him, because that's not what he built for. That's not what he was put there for.
But you know, so quick side note, that ain't just with women and men either. I had coworkers. She was in a lesbian relationship, and she was the feminine one in the relationship. Her and her wife got into it, and she told her wife, like, you can get out. I don't need you. I can pay these bills too. Like, you can get the fuck out. So it ain't just man and woman. It's just, I guess, a mentality in itself. Like I can do this shit by myself. I don't need you. And it's really been ingrained in our women.
And I think it's more so been instilled in us because we was put in that position for it to be. You got to keep in mind, if I was to throw out a percentage, you probably got, you're more likely to have a woman who can get her own place quicker than a man can. It's more likely for a woman to get on her feet because there's more resources out there for women to help them get on their feet than it is for men. You know, starting with these public housing and these government housing assistance, you know, they're more it's more women receiving those assistance or those resources than it is men. So, you know, that was like a step forward for us, but it was also a step back for us too. You know, so if you want to look at it that way, you can definitely see it that way. Sean, was you gonna say something?
I was just gonna agree. And it was designed to be that way. It's like they decided we're gonna lift the black women up here. We're gonna bring the black man down here. And it's been that way. We've been off balance ever since.
Yep.
You know,
and haven't tried to correct it for the most part.
I mean, you know, I try. Brothers, how y'all feel? Sisters, y'all all right? I try. At least now I be trying. But honey, I'm too successful for these niggas. They don't want me because I'm too successful. I'm too independent. I don't need them for nothing. Ain't that what they say? I don't need them for nothing. So, you know, but yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, the balance has been off for a while. Like you said, they put the black woman up here, they put the black man down here. And it's like, even when we get to a point where, you know, we can get a little close to being equal, here come another movement. Me too. Here come another movement where, you know, we back up, then back down.
Ain't nothing more powerful than the black man and the black woman on the same page.
Oh,
Right.
that's why they gonna make it their business to keep us off the same page.
Ain't nothing more powerful than that.
Yeah. Do you know how successful our kids will be if we was to get on the same page? Do you know how strong and unbreakable our households would be if we was to get on the same page? What?
Yeah.
What? They would lose their fucking mind
They would.
if we got our shit together and really became equals.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What? They wouldn't know what the fuck to do. You think abortion, Roe versus Wade gonna get overturned? No. They finna start overturning a whole bunch of shit. They see that the niggas is getting back together.
Uh-huh.
When they see we changing our vocab, we ain't even calling y'all niggas no more. We calling y'all kings now. What? They'll have a fucking, I can see the White House locking up shop right now.
Yeah.
You gotta shut the whole goddamn government down. These niggas, what?
They gonna start another war.
Yeah, they would. Well, y'all, I really appreciate y'all joining me on my podcast today. I really appreciate y'all. I had so much fun with this topic. We was able to kind of, take it to different avenues, and I really liked that because we still brought it back to the same topic, but I most definitely enjoyed the content that you guys provided for my platform today. Does anybody have anything else that they want to speak on this particular topic before we go ahead and close out?
I mean, I just hope that people learn something. Like, this conversation that was very informative.
Yeah, most definitely. I really appreciate you, Sean, because you brought a lot of information to the table that I definitely am going to do my research on, because I did not know the information about abortions. I didn't even know that.
That's another thing. 50% of women that make over $100,000 a year is single.
Yeah, I can believe that.
No man, no kids.
I can definitely believe that.
Yeah,
I can definitely believe that.
Man.
I have a couple of friends like that. They put everything on the back burner, and then by the time they get to the place they want to be, is like,
I done lived all this time without no kids and a husband. I don't really need one now. Yeah,
I got 3 friends like that in their 40s now. Never been married, don't have any kids. And
do they desire kids or marriage?
I think one does, but they just don't want to go through that point now. And all of them kind of still running. Like, I'm not gonna say really running the streets, but
they outside.
Every time something happens, they're there. Whether it's Bike Week, it's Essence Fest, CIAA, Miami Beach. I mean, they are everywhere. So and
enjoying life.
And that's just what. But they want to settle down, but they just can't find the time to, because they always, what I'm saying, run it.
I don't necessarily think the time is the issue. I don't think timing is the issue with them. I think it's just the quality of men, the options that they have.
Yeah, but when you always out at things like that quality of man you're gonna look for might not be the settle down type of quality you want to, because
I don't like comments like that.
When you in CIAA, when you in Myrtle Beach, when you're at Essence Fest, you're gonna run into more niggas that's trying to fuck than you looking at. Then you're gonna find the nigga that's trying to settle down.
Yeah,
I don't like comments like that, because we can't. They love saying if you want to find a good woman, go to church.
No.
Like we can't keep using the narrative that it ain't no good men in the club, or it ain't no good men at these events and stuff like that.
No. What did you hear what I said? I said chances are you're gonna find more men that want to fuck than there are that want to get married. You can find them. You can find that good man, good woman anywhere, but you got to look at the percentages of where you at.
Exactly. I was just ready to say that's what life is about. Life is about odds, chances, and percentages. Exactly. And that's what we deal with.
You're not gonna go to a trap house. You're not gonna go to a trap house and be like, I want a square. I want a motherfucker that wear a bow tie and some hoochie daddy shorts maybe, and no, you're gonna find more trap niggas in the trap house, or
it might be that one guy there though.
Yeah.
But the chances are you're gonna find a trap nigga.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, once again, I really enjoyed you guys. Thank y'all so much. Sean, go ahead and shout out your platforms and your podcast before we exit, and then Reggie, after him, you can do the same.
Well, yeah, I'm Keep It G Blogger. You can find me on Keep It G Blogger. Instagram, keep_it_G_blog on Instagram. On YouTube, you can find me at Keep It G Blogger or Keep It G Podcast. My Twitter is Keep It G Blogger. That's what it is, man. Making real look cool again, man. Bringing it back. Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
Reggie
Prime Minister. Like I said, Aries Talking Sports, all one word, sports with a Z. Unapologetic the podcast. You can find us on all DSPs with audio and visual. Unapologetic is on Facebook, Unapologetic the Pod. The same as for Instagram. My personal Reg is amazing. REGIZAMAZIN. I don't even know why I'm saying all this stuff because I say it every time I'm on your
every single time.
So if it's somebody new, it's for them. But yeah, hey, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give us a follow. I appreciate you having me on again, Aisha.
All right. Y'all, so this is another amazing episode in the books. I really appreciate y'all tuning in with me. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Sean, Reg, I really appreciate y'all. Until next time, peace. What's up, you guys? It's Aisha Hadiya. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Coffee and Apple Juice podcast. Make sure that you're right here with me every Wednesday where I'll give you new episodes where we're discussing any and everything involving the culture. Also, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.